floor, by the way, and I have a mic. Should be fun.
You know, I got an iPhone app coming out, by the way. I took my 25 years of jokes and about 25,000 in a collection, and I Do Standup's going to get released on the App Store next week. 2 stores, by the way. So you'll be able to download it and pick a joke, pick a category, and some of them are here tonight. But I've been working a couple of times. A couple of times I found that cops, police are great people. And they help and protect and serve, and there's an auxiliary police group up in Troy. And I've been driving with them for a little bit, and it's kind of fun to watch what happens when you are with a cop in the evening. For example, we had a situation at Taco Bell a couple of weeks ago, and there was a goat floating around the parking lot, and it took 4 of us out there to go round him up. And we finally got him there. The Taco Bell manager said, well, our ingredients usually don't walk around by themselves. But I'm down at the police station, and a guy calls in, and the sergeant answers, and he says, he hears, are there any lunatics that have been released lately? Any escaped? And the sergeant said, no, why? He said, well, my wife is missing. You know, if you've ever been outside of, down here in the Oregon district, outside of Dublin Pub at about 2 in the morning, the cops are waiting for the scene who comes out. And along about 1:45, they're waiting, and a guy comes walking out, stumbling out, and he reaches over to his car, and he barely makes it, and key doesn't fit. He tries again and realizes it's the wrong car, and 2 more times. Finally gets into a car, and he backs it up and goes forward. And the rest of the Dublin Pub's emptying out, and everyone's going home, and he's still trying to get out of the parking lot. And we're sitting here with my buddy, who's the patrolman on duty. And finally, he gets in his car, he gets on the road, and he goes driving. We turn on the lights, we go after him, we pull him over, and he gets out of the car and said, good evening, officers, any problem? And he looked a little drunk or skunk, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't get it. And, are you drunk? And give him a test, and he said, no. Well, what the heck's going on? We saw the car, the keys. He said, oh, I'm a designated decoy. Everybody else left the bar. We're sitting up on 202 outside of Miami, out in Miami County, and behind a billboard waiting for someone, and the car comes zooming along at about 75 up on 202. It's a 45-mile zone. And we pull him over, and the cop I'm with says, hey, buddy, we've been waiting for you all damn day. And the guy looks at the cop and says, I got here as fast as I could. You know, out here in the Oregon district, I was with a cop and we pulled over a prostitute and said, honey, what you're doing is illegal. And she said, no, I'm not selling sex. I'm selling condoms, but they come with a free demo. I'm up with a state trooper on another drive, and all of a sudden we end up in a high-speed chase. They're not supposed to let auxiliaries in there when they're doing a high-speed chase. We're going at about 120 miles an hour and chasing a guy. And faster we go, faster he goes. Faster we go, faster he goes. Finally, we get him stopped, the stop sticks and all that good stuff. And we go up, and he says, now what in the heck got into you? And he looks up at the officer, and he says, well, about 10 years ago, my wife ran off with a state trooper, and I was deathly afraid you were bringing her back. But we're outside the bar one night again, and 2 guys go leaving. We see them come out of the bar, clutching their long necks, and they get in the car, they fishtail down the road. We get on the light, flip the light on, and I just know what's going on inside because one of the drivers turns to his buddy and he says, listen. Scrape the label off the bottle. Slap it on your forehead. Stash the bottle under the seat and shut the hell up. And we pull up because we see, I pull up on one side and the cop pulls up on the other. We look in the window and we see 2 guys with blood labels on their forehead. And the cop says, looks like your boys have been drinking. Oh, no, Ossifer, no, I'm not us, Ossifer, no. Sure smells like you boys have been drinking. Ossifer, no, not us. And will you all care to explain what you're doing? Well, Ossifer, you see, my buddy and I, we're recovering alcoholics. And we've just come from the meeting, and we're on the patch. So, another time we're up on 202, And a little after midnight one Friday night, we come upon it, we see a car stopped on the road, and lights are on. We go out, don't see anyone around, we walk up, it's a pumpkin patch, last October. And we go up, and there's a guy with this big pumpkin, he cut a hole in it, and he is banging on the pumpkin. And we go up and we say, excuse me, buddy, you got an what are you doing? You're sitting here banging on a pumpkin. He said, oh my God, it's after midnight! My name is Leib, and I got an iPhone app. I do stand-up. Thank you.
Glory, everybody.